Obviously, you're not going to use what it's going to put away.
I've had one of the Class 940s since I started this map. John Deere are nice. I've just started a private farm which is featuring John Deere. I mean, I hear they make good tractors, but they are a little pricey, and obviously when you're playing games you're trying to look for something that does what you need it to do and doesn't cost you an arm and a leg. It's one of the reasons I have this truck and trailer rig. I've actually got two of them. Is because the tipper's on the back are modules, so you can disconnect the tipper module and stick something else on in its place. So I don't have to have an agro tipper, an agro animal hauling truck. What else do I use? Flatbed. You know, I could quite easily rack up 4 or 5 different trucks that are capable of doing 1 or 2 jobs. Yeah, obviously the flatbed works for hauling bales and fetching pallets from the store. But yeah, this I can have one truck, which is expensive, so 160,000, and then the modules that go on the back are only about 20,000 each, rather than having 4 or 5 trucks that are 160,000 each. My favourite kind of tractors are steam tractors from way back 1920s, 1930s era, but more modern. I like the older Massey Fergusons. They have a fair number around this area. Seems that a lot of farmers in this area are John Deere users, but the farmers that don't have the money to buy a brand new John Deere tend to run around with 15-20-year-old Massey Fergusons. There's one guy with an old Massey Ferguson harvester, but he hasn't got very large fields, so it's not a bad thing for him. The farmers with the big properties tend to be running big John Deere harvesters and tractors. Okay, you take care, Hail Team. Oops, you crashed. Okay, so we've pretty much seen everything that Class does in-game as a mod. Or at least every type of equipment that Class does in-game, not necessarily every single piece. But 35 implements is good. That's kind of what we got in the Platinum Edition. Farm Sim 17. And because Star is South American based, the map was based in... where was it? Paraguay? So I'm guessing for the most part we will probably see some European map, maybe British map, on the Platinum Edition. I know, what would it be? We've been playing this particular farm for over 500 hours, almost 600. And when I started it, I did a little bit of research on what sort of equipment you see in Scotland and what crops they grow. So from that, I have never grown any sunflowers on this farm. Oh, great demand for potatoes, don't have any. I have grown a lot of barley, because barley obviously is very popular in Scotland. And Most of the crops are, after barley it's wheat, canola, soybeans less so, because they're a late planting crop, and the period of time you have between planting and harvesting in Scotland is a little bit shorter than it is elsewhere. And about 2 game years ago I started planting corn, but the corn is basically foraged for silage or harvested for pig food. So we're not selling corn as a human edible product. And that came about because I was doing continuous research in Scotland, and I did find that I can't remember whether it was 1 or 2 years ago, 2 farms trialled planting corn only for animal feed, and it turned out to be a success. I don't know whether the the trial has been extended or what, but as such I usually run about 2 fields of corn just for silage or pig food. And as I pointed out a little bit earlier in the broadcast, we only have about 36,000 litres of corn left, and that needs to last us till late fall. I haven't even got corn in the ground yet, obviously, because of the snow. We can't plant that till late spring, early summer. So what I have as pig food is what I have for the next 9 months. So we did sell a lot of pigs. I think I've now sold half the pigs we had. I did it again. So that's going to extend the time, extend the time I have before needing to replenish the corn stocks.
Mom, I'm super fast.
That's part of the problem with pigs, is you have to keep a lot of grain types on hand as food stores, and with seasons, because you only harvest once a year, you have to plan ahead by a long way. Sheep and cows, not so much difficulty, because so long as at the end of fall you've got enough hay, silage stocks and straw stocks to last until late spring, then you're not going to run out of food for cows and sheep. Obviously straw you're not going to be able to replenish until late summer at the earliest. But at the end of spring and at the end of summer there are 2 big grass harvests, and then there's a small one at the end of fall. So they don't need as much planning, although I have blown it a couple of times where I almost ran out of hay. That's interesting. Why did that just reload? What I was expecting. Oops. Okay, that's another 42,000. Let's check with the canola prices. Okay, Highland grain started to drop, but it's still... I'll go Aberdeen, I think. The thing is it's about £4 difference per litre. The favour being for Highland Grains, but currently Highland Grains price is coming down, and that £4 could disappear in the time it takes me to drive there. What is it? Yeah, Highland Grains. Aberdeen Grains is a static price. So we have to get there and actually tip before we'll start making that adversely affecting that price. And then A&M Grains, the price is rock bottom. We don't want to sell there right now. It looks like we're going to end up with 1.1 million. Collect some eggs before the day's out. Really don't come this way that often, primarily because the BGA is up by Highland Grains, which is where we just were, and A&M Grains includes the animal dealer and the store, so we go there quite frequently. But this is an outlier sell point that has nothing else of interest in the area. Okay, a nice sheet of snow here. The weighbridge and the other problem with this point is the roof is a little low, so we absolutely have to side tip here. Okay, so how's the price on that? It's 82, so it's still for, yeah, we could have sold it at Highland, but see, that's now already dropped 40, almost 40. But we made 40,000, so 1.1 million, yeah, yes. We have nothing else we need to purchase this year. the pickup back to the yard. Back to the farm entrance. Oh, jeez. A little bit icy on that corner. I'm driving in the ditch. But these roads are barely wider than the vehicles. And there's the nice sunset. Yep. Not so easy to do this at 70 in the snow. There we go. Okay, I'm going to get out to do this one. And right about there. Okay. Try and maneuver this thing. I used to use these tippers for servicing the harvester on the fields, but I bought that big auger wagon, which works very nicely for field work. Go again. I have started a season's playthrough on 19. Obviously I was here without power all of this week, and so missed out on the season's release. However, I did put out a stream on Thursday, which should be on YouTube now. See link below in the information panels. And basically what I've done is I've retired the Oldstream Farm playthrough, and we now have Oldstream Farm with Seasons, or Seasons on Oldstream Farm, I think I've called it. And obviously being Seasons, the only thing we did on that particular episode was plough the ground, and we only got halfway through it. So in here we have more frames, for those who aren't familiar with the farm. The white one is an auger wagon which holds fertiliser. The red one is an auger wagon that holds seed. I think the green one holds liquid fertiliser, and then the other tank holds diesel. Although that's not as big a deal on this farm. We have fuel storage points, which there is no gas station. Yeah, in the traditional sense of the term. So I would fill up all of the vehicles here. We might as well do that. But we also have seed fertilizer, solid and liquid fertilizer tanks back there. And they charge significantly more than the store does for pallets. And because of that, I will buy pallets and bring the seed back to the farm in the auger, and then load the seeder from there. This one only has a 460 litre tank. The yellow one has a 500 litre tank. Okay. So, slip that back in there. Lights off, engine off. So cows need straw. Did I not get around to that last time? And only 7 eggs in the coop, so I don't need to go and collect the eggs. Yeah, the reason we've got 100% on the pigs on everything is because we filled those up and then we sold off about half of the pigs we own. So that's twice as much food as they need over a 3-day period. So that's going to last us all into spring now. In the meantime, might as well get out of that. Check out the sunset. And think about what we're going to do tomorrow game day. So, animals, we're going to have to care for the cows, put some straw down. Lone 0, that's good. Vehicle maintenance schedule. Okay, we have the blue truck. The Massey 5600, that's the small yard tractor on the main farm. Class Axion 900, I don't know which one that is, but one of them will need a service. And one of the front loaders will need a service. Okay. So, 36,000 litres of corn, 120 of wheat, 92 of canola, 73, 77. That's, I don't mind that level of holding. Plus the prices on those aren't particularly good. So that's everything that needs done now. Fields are obviously covered in snow, so nothing we can do there. So you see, the corn is a good price. It's also a good price here, but I can't afford to sell it. Plus, you know, from the way I'm playing, I'm not selling it. The soybeans, we're not going to be selling those until early summer. Don't have sunflowers. Canola, we just hit the high point. We sold 4 tipper loads, so that's good. Barley, we just hit a high point. We did the same thing with that. I think I sold 6 loads of that. Wheat's just come off a high. But we don't have much of it, so that's fine.
Yes.